taming the demon, as Greg said, is extremely difficult. U.S. military officials said this week that ISIS has lost 98% of the territory it once held. But as Lucas Tomlinson reports from the Pentagon, the terror group remains a threat.
Despite ISIS being nearly destroyed, its remnants now pose a new threat to thousands of U.S. troops still on the ground.
They seem to be moving with impunity through regime-held territory.
Some of the remaining fighters seen by U.S. drones fleeing west to land controlled by Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. But a general leading the coalition says coalition jets will not pursue ISIS fighters in parts of Syria controlled by the regime and Russian forces.
The Syrian regime has failed to demonstrate its ability to prevent the resurgence of ISIS on their own soil.
It's just one of a host of challenges left in the wake of ISIS's downfall. Russia cited the ISIS threat when it deployed dozens of fighter jets and thousands of troops to Syria in the fall of 2015. Then President Obama predicted a quagmire ahead for Moscow and Iran, Syria's other backer. But more than 2 years later, there are no signs of the Russians leaving. Russia's defense minister says his country's 2 bases in Syria are now permanent. In ISIS, both Iran and the U.S. found a common enemy. With that threat now on its heels, some Iranian-backed forces in Iraq are now turning their attention to the U.S. by threatening the more than 5,000 U.S. troops in Iraq and 2,000 in neighboring Syria. In a candid admission, the CIA director put Iran's Quds Force commander on notice, reaching out to him personally.
What we were communicating to him in that letter was that we will hold he and Iran accountable for any attacks on American interests in Iraq by forces that are under their control.
The consequences of a diminished ISIS and emboldened Iran could pose a threat to a key American ally in the region.
About 80% of Assad's fighters are Iranian proxies in Syria. To establish this kind of land bridge over into the Mediterranean. And so what we face is the prospect of Iran having a proxy army on the borders of Israel.
Another challenge post-ISIS is rebuilding Mosul, Iraq's second largest city. That was all but destroyed. The UN estimates 40,000 homes need to be rebuilt, keeping millions languishing in refugee camps, the kind of desperation that led to the rise of ISIS in the first place.
Even if we defeated ISIS as a name, we have to remember that we are fighting an ideology, not just an organization.
The Iraqi government estimates it's going to take $100 billion to rebuild, but it's not clear right now who's going to foot the bill. Tonight, more than 3 million Iraqis are living in refugee camps, Mike.
Lucas Tomlinson live at the Pentagon. Lucas, thanks a lot.